A chufam of base. The Mishnah, Chanusha b'chatzer, a shop that's in the chatzer, Yecholim chos biyado, you can stop him, you can make him a cho. V'loimer lo eni yechol lishon mikol ha'nechnosim and mikol ha'yotzim, that I can't sleep because of the noise of the entering and the going out. So seemingly this is the Mishnah talking about the ability of neighbors to stop their neighbors making noise. That seems to be what the Mishnah is talking about, but if we go into it, now here Rashi doesn't say anything. This is the Lo Mikol Tinokas is at the end. Tosis doesn't say anything. So that's all we got. V'loisa kelim yotze u'moicher b'toch ha'shoch. But he can make the kelim inside his house and then go out and sell them in the shuk, and then they can't. So a guy can make the noise in his house, banging away on his hammer. You can't stop him. You can't make him a cho. But then, and he can go. But if there are people coming in, see Chanusha b'chatzer, he can say, I can't sleep because of the people are coming in and out. So it's really just the people coming into the chatzer that you can make him a cho about and stop, but not the actual noise of someone doing work. So there seemingly, because here in the Sefer, we set up above. So if someone's working, so if someone's making noise with his hammer or making noise with his mill, he's milling for work, seemingly. So there you can't say that. V'lo mikol hatinokas, and not because of the tinokas. Now here, seemingly the tinokas, because hakadaicha tinokas abayim leknos yayin v'shemen v'kol davar hanimchar b'chanot. So again, Rashi here is saying it's a hakadaicha. So at this point in the Mishnah, we're learning that the kol tinokas are the people who are coming in and they're buying stuff in your chatzer. Yet in the ratio, we said that you're able to be making mocho and say, I don't want the people coming in and out. So why, in the end, so a chanot shebachatzer, I can say I don't want the people coming in and out, so I can stop you opening up a shop in the chatzer because of the noise that the people are making. But here, the noise of the tinoikas, then I can't stop you making that. So seemingly there's a stira between the Reisha and the Seifa, and the Gemara straight says, Maishana Reisha, Maishana Seifa. And this is only going on the call of the Tenoiches. And it says here, Seifa, Amarabai, Seifa, Atanan, Lachatzer Acheres. So, Chatzer Acheres means that I'm in Chatzer A, you're in Chatzer B, you're making noise in Chatzer B, and therefore, and obviously you're annoying me in Chatzer B. Otherwise, why am I making mocho? So, your noise you're making in your Chatzer is annoying me. I can't make that. I can't make a mocho. I can't stop you making noise because I'm not in your chotzer. If it's in the same chotzer, so then I can't stop you making that noise. But so really they're talking about here again, just people just coming in and having shops. If there's a shop that's bothering me in the chotzer across, so all the people coming in and out, and that's bothering me, I can't make a mocho. But if it's in my chotzer, I can. That's Abayi's teretz, how he's understanding lo mikol hatinoikas in a different chotzer, and here the mikol hanechnosim is in my chotzer. I can make a mocho. Amali Rava yihachi litni chotzer acheres mutter. So why are we saying the lo mikol hatinoikas? Just say chotzer acheres mutter. Ela amarava. So Rava gives a different teretz. So Seifa. Asan letinokas shel beis rabban. So here the tinokas are beis rabban. Afogab the kol haba machmas acherim lo matzi mocho. You can't make a mocho. So you have. So if somebody sets up a school, so he's saying you can't set up a shop in the chotzer, but you are allowed to set up a school in the chotzer. Since you can set up a school in the chotzer, we have to see why you can set up a school in the chotzer. But the school in the chotzer is a different din. Since the it says in Takantas Yeshua ben Gamla, the Elach. So it's a takana that Yeshua ben Gamla did from then on. Therefore, if somebody wants to open up a school in your chotzer, you can't stop them. So just going back into the Mishnah to get clear what's going on here. So this Mikol Tinoiches is a school. So since it's a school, you can't stop them. So the Chanot Shebachotzer, if you can't sleep because of the enters and the outers, the people who are coming in and out of the chotzer because of the shop, so then I can stop you doing it. But you can make the kelim in your own house, and you can make a patish. You can start banging in your own house, and the rechaim in your own house. All these things that seemingly are normal noises that you were making, because if you're using a patish to do your work, so whatever, you have a certain level of what you can do in your house, things that you're doing in your house, that basically you have a heter to, and you can make as much noise as you want in your own house. But once you bring other people in, nichnasim and the yoitzim, so let's say you're having a party in your house, and therefore people are coming into your house from outside, then you can stop them having a party. But if it's just people in your own house, or let's say your direct family come and do a seder and make noise, seemingly according to this mission, you can't stop them. But if it's a school, then people from outside can come in. The school children can come outside and make noise in your chotzer, and you can't stop them. So now, what is this takana of Yeshua ben Gamliel? To Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Baram Zoicher Oitoi Haish. So give this guy, Latoy Zoicher Latoy Yeshua ben Gamliel Shemo. What did he do? If it wasn't for him, we'd forget Torah in Israel, because originally someone who had a father, they would teach him Torah. And someone who didn't have a father, he wouldn't learn Torah. And seemingly also someone who didn't have a father who could learn Torah. Again, a lot of people were illiterate, and the Jews are called the people of the book because you really need to know how to read. And so the Jews were known for this, because you know how to read, and then you have to teach your children. But someone who didn't have a father, or the father couldn't teach him, he wouldn't learn Torah, the son. So my Dairish, where are they getting all this from? So that in the Torah it says v'limadatem otam in the Shema. So you are the ones to teach your children. The otam is your children. V'limadatem atem, you have to teach your children. So then they would have the teachers of children in Jerusalem, so that for even people who didn't have fathers, then you would be able to bring your son to Jerusalem, and then they could be taught there. So my Dairish, what's the pasuk? Why in Jerusalem? Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Now seemingly that doesn't answer anything. So therefore in the Bach then adds v'chule. So if we go in the pasuk, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah u'devar Hashem Yerushalayim. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah u'devar Hashem Yerushalayim. We'll sing that in the Tzioni shuls on Shabbos. Ki mitzion. Anyway, u'devar Hashem Yerushalayim. So since the devar Hashem came out of Yerushalayim, so therefore you go teach your children in Yerushalayim. So that's why you need the v'chule there, because Ki mitzion tetzei Torah doesn't really answer the question. V'yadayin mishish la'av hayemalo melamdo. So whoever had a father, he would bring him to Jerusalem, and he would get taught there. And they wouldn't. So again, someone who didn't have someone to bring him to Jerusalem wouldn't learn. So there, plach is like a district. So you'd have, an area of cities, a few cities together would have be like a state or something. Because states have multiple cities in them. When he's like 16 or 17. So you bring the kid when he's like 16 or 17 into school. Umi shahayirabo kois alav, abat boy v'yoytze. Now this is quite interesting because it's davka the 16 and 17-year-olds. Up to this point, they aren't doing anything. They haven't been learning Torah. So whatever they're doing, they're probably out in the coal mines when they're 5, and now when they're 16, 17, there seems to be some type of chiyuv on the tzibur to pay for this stuff. So then when they're 16, 17, they get their education paid for, and they can go to Jerusalem, to every plach, and get taught Torah. And now when they're 16, 17, if the Rav just gets angry at them, it's like, screw this, and they'll just leave. That because they've been on the streets, they've been like delinquents for the first 16 years of their life. So now when they go into a type of education system, they're not going to take to it. So it's not going to take to it, they're just going to kick and leave. And obviously the ones who take to it will be fine. The ones who don't, then they're just going to leave. Yeshua ben Gamla. So here he goes. So Yeshua ben Gamla, he comes with his takana v'tikun. Sheyu Moishevin melamde tinoket b'kol medina. So now every medina is gonna have every city has a melamde tinoket. B'kol ir ve'ir. So every what's Medina? I don't know what Medina meant then. I mean, obviously it's like a country here, but whatever. Every big city and every city. So you bring him in as 6 or 7. So Amar le Rav Shmuel bar Shilas ad shish lo tikabel mekan ve'elach kabel. So don't bring him in. So bring him when he's 6, because before he's 6, he's not going to get anything. When he's over 6, he's going to receive. So that's why you bring him in when he's 6. And stuff him like an ox. So we have all these questions here. Kaven sheish, kaven sheva. Why did he say 6 or 7? And here he says you bring him into 6, and here Toisvus, when he's 6, if he's bari, when he's 7, when he's weak, because when he's less than 6, he's not going to receive anything. But everyone knows the Mesachas Avos ben chamish 5 lemikra, so we get 5 to do the that's talking about bari legamri, kadamar bo kasoivus, lemi benoa pochus mi ben sheish. So if he's on before he's 6, he won't catch him. He's weak. So I guess we've got 3. Tosis is saying that you have 5 in the Mishnah who's like super bari. Well, bari means if you're just healthy, just all the children were malnourished and sick back then. So someone who's super bari, who would be someone like a normal Westerner today, and then you have someone who's 6. Someone who's 6 would then be a normal person back in those days, or when he's 7, if he's a bit sick, and then so you bring him in when he's 6, and he won't receive it before then, and then you stuff him like an ox. Now this is basically the takana of Rabbi Shua ben Gamla. Now, how does this answer up a question? And seemingly every city needs to makabel to have people teaching their students. They need to have a melamed tinokes in every city. So therefore, if a melamed tinokes comes to your town, so then you have to let him. You can't make him a cho. And then further down. Further down, we bring a tashema mi sheyesh bo bais bechetzer. You have a house in the chotzer, shoytafen. Hareza lo yishkarenu lo la roife v'lo la uman. So don't rent it out to a doctor or a bloodletter, and not to somebody who is weaving, and not to a Jewish teacher, not a goyish teacher. Hakamaiskinen b'soifer mata. So it's a Sefer Mata. So it's a Maklokas here, Rashi and Tosfos. Sefer Mata, Melamed Tinoikes Ha'ir. U'moshev Melamdim Tachtav. So that when you have a Melamed Toikes Ha'ir, Tanukas Ha'ir, so he's like doing it for the whole city. So he's like a city-wide one. U'moshev Melamdim Tachtav. And he has multiple teachers under. You have like a menahel and multiple teachers under him. V'hi moira im kulam echia sove yesham kol gadol. So since you have one school for like the whole city, there's a big noise. There's a big noise for the whole city, so you can stop him entering. That's Rashi's Peshat. Tosfos says that's not the Peshat of a Sefer Masa. According to Rashi, that you can stop that school. That's like for the entire city, but seemingly here, basically that you have to let a school in because there's a chiyuv on everybody to let the school in. So again, there's different ways how to see this. Why do you have to let the school? What was the takana? The takana was that Torah learning has to be supported by the tzibur. That the tzibur has a chiyuv to do the yeshiva, the shiva learning. You have children that have nothing to do with you, and therefore these children that are coming in are like your responsibility, and therefore you can't stop them coming into your chutzner and learning Torah there. Or it's like a din of it's a mitzvah. Since it's a mitzvah, you can't stop someone doing a mitzvah. and therefore someone coming with a soup kitchen or something, you can't stop them as well. I think it's the machlokes in the poskim as to what exactly is the gedder there. Is it a mitzvah that you're allowed to do, or it's davka a yeshiva, and therefore anything else? So if you have a seminary, you're able to stop a seminary coming into your chutzner, but you can't stop a yeshiva coming into your chutzner. Or you say no, any mitzvah, you have to allow. So that's the pshat in the Mishnah here anyway, that you have to allow the school in, but other people from outside your chutzner you don't have to allow in. So here's the Ramban. Lishna ba'al menaket aval mishum demarba aleihem es haderech hu sheyechol limchos biyado. So this whole thing, I'm not able to sleep, it's because of the noise. So the whole Mishnah seems to be about what noise is the person doing that's stopping you sleeping. And yet, really, we're just talking about more people in your chutzner. It's nothing to do with noise, because you can make a patish, you can start banging away on your hammer. That's no problem. Making noise doesn't seem to be the issue. It's just more people from outside your chutzner coming in. That's the issue. So here the Ramban says, Lishna ba'al menaked. But because it's the whole point is more ba'aleihim, it's a derech, the more people that come in there, that's what I can be. Hu sheyechol limospo. So they also hear the Ramban saying that Rabba lo pligi baha. So someone in a different chutzner than is mutter, and you can't make the mechol there. But he didn't put that doesn't fit in the Mishnah. But that's how the Ramban. But here he's saying that it's nothing to do with the call, and it's nothing to do with I can't sleep. That's just Lishna ba'alba nocket. So the Rashba, who's a Talmud of the Ramban, says a similar thing. We're not talking about the noise that the Nechzim Mamish say. So we see in the Sa'if of the Mishnah that the noise made because of the hammer and the mill, you can't be ma'akev. Therefore, it's not the noise that they're making. Or in the Sa'if in the Mishnah, we says Aval eni yechol loimer eni yechol lishon mikol hatinokes. Abai says b'chatzar cheres. Afabisha who call noifel ba'aznos. So even though he gets the noise, so the noise is bothering him. He can hear the tinokes coming in, whatever they're doing there, whether it's a school or they're buying stuff. He can hear them, but you're not allowed to make a machol there. So therefore, we see that really with the tam is because of riboy derech, and therefore, it's really that you don't have rights to noise. If someone's making noise, seemingly you don't really have any ability to make a machol. Here's the Rambam. So the chanot you can stop him. So here you're saying go do your malachta in your shop. I don't know where the shop is. The shop in the chutz, or the shop is outside. And so go sell in the shuk. But you can't stop the noise of the hammer or the mill. Why? Sheharei hechzek lasot kain. Rambam here says the reason that you can't make a mechol of the noise is because you have a chazaka on that noise, and therefore someone who doesn't have a chazaka to make noise, now all of a sudden you can make a mechol. וכן יש למות תינוקה של ישראל תורה בתוך ביתו ואין השותפים יכולים לחוס בידו ולומר אין אנחנו יכולים לישון מכל התינוקה של בית הרבן. So here, again, he's just saying the same for the Mishnah, but he introduces this idea here of the chazik la'asotken, that there's a chazaka. Since you have a chazaka to make noise, that's why you're allowed to make the noise, but not because you can't make a mechol, because I have a chazaka on the noise. So here's the Shulchan Aruch. It's Kuf Nun Vav, which is the one after Kuf Nun Hey, which we were doing before, with the harchakas. Someone in the Mavoy, that's not mafulish. Now, if it's mafulish, so people are walking all the way through. So if mafulish is like an open thoroughfare, whereas the Eina mafulish is a cul-de-sac. So therefore, people aren't just passing through a cul-de-sac; they're coming in because they live there. So if you do something in your cul-de-sac, so you're bringing people who don't go there into your cul-de-sac. So that's specifically, it's Eina mafulish. Ish omer de b'mavoy eni yechol limchos ve'ein dinu ele omerim rak b'chotzer. We're saying in the mavoy, because the mavoy is many chotzerim. Which is some say you can't make him a chol, it's only in the chotzer. So because that's what's roifa or oiman, or gadri, or so for shtaros, or malamatinokas, limod she'ena shel taira, but ayam avoy mevachim alav. So here are these things that you can stop him doing it. Why? Because you marber lechem erchos v'yotzim. So that's all kind of what we've done so far. V'ila nitrotze, lo kulam chutz me'echad, even if one person has a problem with it, that one person can be me'akav alav. And also somebody who has a bayit in the chotzer shetafim, he can't rent it out to one of these people. We can stop him renting it out to one of those people, because he'll then make a shop there, or he'll be a doctor there, and people will come in. The Shechinim are able to make a mochol and say to him, we aren't able to sleep because of the people coming in and out. So therefore you can do what you want in here. So you have a chanot in the chotzer, so you can do your work in the chotzer, but you can't sell it in the chotzer. You got to go outside to the shuk and sell there, because that's where all the people are, and you can't bring people into our chotzer to sell that. We aren't able to sleep from the kol batish or the kol rachaim. So here in the Shulchan Aruch, bringing down the shittas of the Rambam, that he's got a chazaka doing that, and they never made him a chol. Lo micha biyado. So therefore he was banging away on his hammer, and no one said anything. And since no one said anything, therefore he has a chazaka to do it. Since he has a chazaka to do it, he can continue to do it. But if he starts doing it, so then seemingly you can stop him doing it. So he's showing me, this is the Haggah, which is the Ramah. To kol ma she'oisa b'chanut b'beito, afil lechatchila ein yechol limchos. So this is again here we're saying here the Taisus and the Ramban and the Shchenim v'davke b'nei adam b'riyim aval imhem cholim v'hakol mazikim lechem yecholim limchos. So this Ramah is a bit like, what the hell's going on here? If you're sick, you can. Rashi's saying you can do normal stuff in your house. Everything that you do in your house, again, bringing other people outside is also. But whatever you do so what's normal in a chanot is that you bang your hammer on whatever you're building, and therefore you don't need chazak on that. So there's a maklokas here between, like the shittas of the the Rambam Rashba and the Tosfos, and then the Rambam. So that the Shulchan Aruch is posting like the Rambam here, is that you need a chazaka on the noise you're making, but the Ramah is saying, as the Yesh Aimrim, that really you can do whatever you want in your in your house, whatever's normal. Again, just bringing it down that you can teach children, you can't make a machol. And who would in the mitzvah. So here the Shulchan Aruch goes on, who would in the mitzvah. Now, again, the poskim here decide what is a mitzvah and what's not a mitzvah, because it says you can't have a doctor, but is a doctor healing people not a mitzvah, etc., etc. So how broad are you going to bring this idea of a mitzvah that you can bring in, and then you can start making noise and bring a cherem into the. So if you have a neighborhood and they're trying to bring in a yeshiva, the chayra you can't bring them down. You can't stop them unless there are other yeshivas in the area. Then there's what's a dan on it. But if it's like the only yeshiva in the area, so therefore you can't stop them. Other things for mitzvahs, if someone wants to bring a soup kitchen into your area, can you stop them? What if someone's having a Purim party in your street? Can you stop them in your chutzner? So depending on how you understand this. Depending on how you understand this, is it a mitzvah or not? So the Ptchei Teshuvas here brings, as in Aleph, that the Shchenim can make a machol. And he brings here in the Teshuvas a few points that come out that kind of clarify some of the points of the halacha. So see the Teshuvas, the Chazon Sofer, but go see it there. So 3 brothers that their father left to them a house in the Yerusha. 2 received the shetach, the top floor, and 1 received the bottom floor. And one of them tried to, one of the guys upstairs tried to sell whiskey to specific people. The Hatachton, he wanted to be Akiv, he wanted to stop him because of the people are coming in, the derech of the Chotzer, Hamushataf, so there's a Chotzer that all three of them have, and the guy upstairs wants to sell whiskey, so people are going to come in, and he's going to be more by the derech. So Hagon Hashoel, so whoever this isn't the Chasm Sofer, whoever wrote the Shaila asked a question and someone else answered it, but not the Chasm Sofer. That according to him, it's never pshitus that you're able to make a mocho. Kamo b'pachos, that's like you open up the shop in the Chotzer Shutafim that's in our Mishnah. Even though the time of Deinei Chol Ishon Mikol Nechnosim is not shaykh in Moicher B'Yom. So this is the tainas of the shoyel. That I can't sleep because of the guys who enter. That's not shaykh if you sell only during the day. So if you sell only during the day, surely you can't say I can't sleep. And then once he stops, when people go asleep, you're good to go. Because the Zman Chachmei Shash, this is how it worked. The Darknim Mechor Gambalayla b'chachanos. Because in the times of the Shas, they used to sell in the day and sell at the night. Because it's Mashma and Reish Perak in Bava Basra, that the Rakachanot de Mechuza Abdi B'Yom V'lo B'Layla. Here is talking about getting Chazaka, that they're in Mechuza, they worked in the days and not in the night, and therefore they couldn't get a Chazaka like everyone else. They had needed longer for a Chazaka and Mashma. Everywhere else, you could get a Chazaka in 3 years using the days and the nights. And since everyone else was using the days and the nights, so therefore that's why they couldn't open the shop, because they're open on the night times. Night times people are trying to sleep, and therefore you couldn't open your shop at all. That's how he's trying to explain the sugya. But today, since our shops are open kind of during the day, but then also a point comes out here, it's that when people sleep, then you can't do your work. So even though the Mishnah is saying that it's the call of the petish, you can't stop them, but if people are sleeping, then seemingly you can stop them. So certain hours of the day, when people sleep, then you can't stop them. So, for example, in Israeli law, it's 11 till 7, you're not allowed to make noise. I think building, construction has different hours, so you have different things. So during those hours, even though Israeli Medina law is not halacha, it becomes halacha as to when somebody can make noise. When are you able to taina? I can't sleep. Seemingly, at least from 11, based on the law here. Maybe you can even extend it beyond that, but anything after 11, for sure you can say I can't sleep. Then up to 7, if someone wants to make noise at 6, you can be miyakev him, because that's the time that people don't sleep. Mikomo come roiv poiskim, kosfu deshen lav davka. So you say he calls it roiv poiskim. So there are some poiskim who say no, taka you do have a taina of sleeping. And information marbim la derech. Ach lo rotzale, we don't have to do the psaktin like that because shehu tamochem be'inyan ha'olam. Because he doesn't want to say that for sure that he can be me'akev on him, because how can one guy stop his friend making a parnasa to sell drinks out of his house? And if he's able to be mecho, so therefore the rabbim will wake up and they will be mecho on all their neighbors who are sell yain, because lots of people sell wine out of their houses, and one guy can stop them selling wine. And therefore, you won't have a yain seller anymore, because everyone will stop them yain. So therefore, he doesn't want to poskin, because maybe how is it real that you can stop somebody doing business out of his house? Where's parnasa going to come from? The efshir nishtana davar alidei orech hagala. So maybe things are different because it's been so long. Again, this is the time of the Chasm Sofer, so in the 1750s. Shenitmanu haYehude hadiurim livnei imanu, that the people don't live. And if somebody makes a mecho in one of those things, he will have to he won't have a parnasa chas v'chalila. He won't have any way to be mid-parsem. V'hu zecher zar heishev. So seemingly this is now going on the Chasm Sofer. That this is how the Chasm Sofer answers. The Vadai Levi Halacha, he's able to make a mechon on the top guy. And what the guy said, the shoyel, that the time is because he's not able to. So that's in those days when they would do the chanos and the laila, blah blah, no nearly. So the Chasm Sofer is arguing on this whole thing that they were open at nighttime as well as today. The Hamrinan Chanuta de Mechuza, that is that they would live in their houses and they would do malacha or moichrim b'chanutim b'yom b'shah masam amatan. So since they would live in their houses in Mechuza, and then they would go to their shops. Again, this is more like what we do today. People sell in their shops and they live in their house during the day. B'shah masam amatan. Ve'ilu b'makomos acherim hasoichrim v'monim darim sham b'layla. So people would have their shops that are there at the nighttime. So therefore, so the people of Mechuzah are like we have today, where you live at home and you go to the commercial area for your shop. But everyone else, they would do their work in their house, and then they would sell from their house as well. So since they were selling, so at nighttime, you weren't selling anything. You were just sitting in your home, doing your stuff at home. And some guy would come and knock on your door and say, can I buy whatever it is you're selling? So whether it's in the daytime, whether it's in the nighttime, I can come to your house and knock on your door and get my stuff. This is how they were selling stuff back then. So all the chanots and all the stuff which they're talking about, this is what's going on. So therefore, during the day and during the night, people are going to be marbe in the chotzer because they're trying to buy stuff from you because you are in your house and you're a craftsman and you're uman, and people are going to come for your amnus and for your craft, and therefore all day and all night that's where they're going to come, and therefore since they're doing that, that's how the whole thing with chazaka works. So that's the mitzias of how people were selling in those days. But they're not working there at nighttime, as you see. So in brachas when we're learning out, the day and the night, it says that the Laila was a mishmar. They weren't because they don't work during the night. Aval poshut the sheino hu lav davka b'layla. Everyone knows, right? When you sleep, it's lav davka b'layla. What does it mean? I can't sleep. It's only at night time. Filu biyom ein lo manuach bilbul hakol. Then even in the daytime, you got a hammer banging off all day. It's like, oh, I'm not sleeping, I'm fine. No, you're going mad because of the hammering. And there are children or babies that are sleeping during the day. There is also kala de poilem, that the workers are coming in that are joining the malachtim, and they come into the shop. So even if you're not selling, there's still the workers that are coming in, and they're creating the marba b'derech. Al ken yerli de enze smicha, enzu smicha. Gam mashagas ve'efsher nishtane hadavar. So we're not going to rely on what the shoyel was answering. Hagam she'efsher lahoisif tavlin, we can make it more spicy and say kevin de kosova poiskin lekaman and sifgemo lav davka tishbar ela who hadin lechol mili de mitzvah. So anything, it's not just the school, but it's anything that's in a mitzvah you can't do mocho. Imkain hakaim alam bizman hazeh the mezoinos hu davar mitzvah. The making money is a davar mitzvah, like we say. So that is a mitzvah. Come lo nearly. So it doesn't apply. It doesn't appear to me that you can't make a mocho on anything. Ta'ad kan lo kamri ele b'bitl mitzvah. What we're saying is you can't be mevatel a mitzvah. De'im lo yolmondu yitbatel, because if you don't allow the school to come in, and in your chodsher, then you have a bottle of the mitzvah of limud Torah, or shar mitzvah semutelas al hakol, or you have a mitzvah that everybody, the whole tzibor, has to do that mitzvah. Aval haka parnosas banavu banav beito einu mutelas al shechenov. So since your neighbors don't have a chiyuv to parnes your family, therefore your neighbors also don't have that mitzvah of parnesing your family, and therefore your neighbors don't have to be soivel all the noise and the people that you're doing because you're making a parnasa out of banging hammers. So again, a lot of more halachas are coming out here that you do have what to say if people are making noise, that you wouldn't see it in the Shulchan Aruch. And then nearly ledon lezchus al pima shekosaf b'shuvas the Ralbach lefarish atam ledas Ramban v'roive poiskin degabe chanos shebachatz shafila chazaka lo mahani. So it's not mishum de riboy hederach. So the Ramban, they were saying that even if you have a chazaka, so the Rambam says once you have a chazaka you're good, but here is not. V'gabe oisem alachto b'chanos afilo lechetchila motor. So sorry, with the marbe people, So there, even with a chazak, you can kick them out. But when you're making noise in your chanot, even lechatchila, you can start making noise and banging away. But banging away in the mill, that's a much worse noise. It's a constant noise. It's a more annoying noise than just some guy coming in and out. So therefore, why is someone outside the chotzer, you're able to be mochol, but the guy banging his hammer, which is much worse, you can't? Because of the time of furish, b'matnisan the tanan aval oisehu kelem amoche b'shuk. Before to call she'ef shor lasot b'shuk ki al korcha petish v'rachaim yaseh bebeito. So anything that you can't do in the shuk, you can't do outside. Therefore, you're forced to do it in your house. There, you're allowed to do it. So if it's something that's big, since he can't do it anywhere else, he has to do it there. There, you can't make a mochol, even if it's really bothersome. Because you can't stop his parnasa. But the mechira you can do in the shuk, since you can do it there. Don't do it here. Therefore, something you can do outside, therefore even hefsed katan, don't do it here. So therefore now again today, since the Metzias has changed, then a guy can't be doing his petich in his house, because go to a work store and do it, or go to whatever you're doing, go do it in a work store, because the Metzias has changed, and therefore the Tamim, the Ramban, and all these type of things don't apply today. So today you can make a mechol on the patish. But if he's and whiskey, the law moitzi limchor b'shuk, he can't sell in the shuk. She'eker panosahu shepayim anishim le'sheves bebeis hamishta hayayin l'shtos. So he's opening up a bar. He's not opening up an off license. He's opening up a bar. Since he's opening up a bar, they have to come to his house. You can't go to the shuk and sell it as an off license. They're coming to the house in order to have the bar. Shkhan there v'lo shkiach hashta anchi. It's not shchiach now that the people are going to be drinking wine in the outside at the market beku, because they're dancing around like the goyim. The kaven the ef shor limchor b'shok, you can't do it in the shok. Hader havelei hay chanot ka makep b'patish de ledas reve poiskin afila chetchila eni yechol limchor. So that's the guy banging the hammer because he can't do it outside. So he says that there's a difference between selling wine and selling whiskey, because the maharam al shech. So he agrees the time anshe mavoy she'oivrim arlem yikenu mizeh she'bechalon nosehim, because the riboy derech she'meinu riboy genavim. So since you're selling the alcohol, or there's a different type of person that buys the wine than buys the whiskey, and the whiskey buyers are a more violent breed, and they cause more trouble. That's the stam goy. Aval kavuim alayain or mishtei or mashke the whiskey b'nei adam ke'elu she'enam mityavshim be'yainim ika chasher shetuiva, so that the goyim who are fixed on coming in and they drink and they're drunkards, efshar moedem maharam alshech lehashol sham ach b'mikra yain. So therefore for the whiskey, we're saying that since the whiskey are bringing in a bad type of person, that they're drunkards, the goyish drunkards that cause trouble, therefore you can stop them coming in. But if you sell wine, so here he's saying that the Chazon Sofer is saying that if you sell yayin, wine, the goyim want to come with the Jews and drink in Jewish bars or Jewish houses, and therefore you can sell the wine. But whiskey, roivu mitzi hu akurav levada sheyochol limchos ad kan. So if you sell wine, then the goyim won't come. If you sell whiskey, then they will come, and therefore you can make a mocho on that. So there's lots of gedarim here in the Chazon Sofer, and then really today there's such a change in the Metzias that it's basically anything that you can do outside of your house that's bothering me, you can make a mocho. But anything that you can't do outside your house is bothering me, so I can't make a mocho. And again, you have the times that people are sleeping and the times they're not sleeping, so therefore you have that it's that again, if you can do it during the day, don't do it at nighttime. And Ataka had a base din with someone who had a rooster, and the psak was basically that he had to not make noise with his rooster during the hours of 7 to 11, and they have what the siesta hours in Israel between 2 and 4, or I don't know what they are, 12 to 2, whatever they are. So times that people sleep, he wasn't allowed to make noise, but he was allowed to make rooster noises outside of those times. That was the Pesach din, and that's going here like a lot of what's going on here in the Piska Teshuvah, and like the Chasam Sofer, that where they're basically, if you can do it, don't do it during those times if you can prevent it, or even if you can't prevent it, like prevent it, and noise that you have to do that noise in the other times. Now, if somebody has to make noise 24/7, they can't do it outside their house, then maybe he has some type of taina there, but otherwise you can restrict the noise, and again, once the people coming from outside, so therefore just take your business to them, don't bring them in, and that's the bones of the sugya.